Welcome to a story you've never heard before. This is not just a story about a toy, a trend, or a collectible. This is a story about a character who has quietly captured the hearts of millions. A character who has become a symbol of hope, comfort, and even rebellion. This is the untold secret of Labubu. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you won't just know Labubu, you'll feel like you've lived his journey. You'll see why Labubu is more than just a cute face on your shelf. You'll understand why people from all over the world, from Tokyo to New York, from Paris to Seoul, are obsessed with this little creature. And you'll discover the powerful lessons Labubu can teach us all, no matter who we are or where we come from. But before we dive into the secret, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why some characters become global icons while others fade away? Why do some toys become lifelong friends while others are forgotten in a drawer? Is it just about design, or is there something deeper? Today, we're going to find out. We're going to peel back the layers of Labubu's story, and in doing so, we'll uncover something about ourselves, too. Let's start at the beginning. Labubu didn't come from a giant corporation or a billion-dollar marketing campaign. Labubu was born from the imagination of a small team of artists at Casing Lung's studio, a place where creativity is more important than profit, and where every character has a soul. The first time Labubu appeared, it wasn't in a glossy commercial or a flashy ad. It was in a simple sketch, a drawing that captured something raw and real. A sense of wonder, a touch of sadness, and a spark of mischief. Labubu was different from the start. With his big eyes, wild hair, and mischievous grin, he looked like he had just stepped out of a dream, or maybe a nightmare. He wasn't perfect, he wasn't polished, but he was alive. And that's the first secret of Labubu's success. In a world where everything is filtered, edited, and made to look flawless, Labubu is a reminder that imperfection is beautiful. People saw themselves in Labubu. They saw their own messy hair, their own awkward smiles, their own moments of feeling out of place. Labubu became a mirror, reflecting the parts of ourselves we usually try to hide. And instead of making us feel ashamed, he made us feel seen. He made us feel understood. But Labubu's story doesn't stop there. As more people discovered him, something amazing happened. Fans started sharing their own Labubu stories online. They posted photos of Labubu traveling the world, sitting in cafes, riding trains, exploring forests. They wrote stories and drew pictures, turning Labubu into a companion for every adventure. Labubu became a symbol of freedom, the freedom to be yourself, to go your own way, to find joy in the little things. And in a world that often feels overwhelming, that message was exactly what people needed. Contrast that with the world of mainstream toys. Think about the biggest brands, the ones with movies, TV shows, and endless merchandise. They're everywhere, but they're also predictable. They follow a formula. They tell you how to play, how to feel, how to think. Labubu is the opposite. He doesn't come with instructions. He doesn't tell you what to do. He invites you to imagine, to create, to make your own meaning. That's why Labubu fans are some of the most creative people you'll ever meet. They don't just collect, they connect. They build communities, share stories, and inspire each other. But there's another side to Labubu's story, a side most people don't see. Behind the cute face and playful grin, there's a story of struggle, resilience, and hope. Labubu was created during a time of uncertainty, when the world was changing fast and nothing felt safe. The artists who brought him to life were facing their own challenges, financial struggles, creative blocks, and the pressure to succeed. In a world that doesn't always value art. Labubu became their way of fighting back. He became a symbol of resistance, a reminder that even in the darkest times, we can find light. Even when everything feels impossible, we can create something beautiful. And that's the real secret of Labubu. He's not just a toy. He's a survivor. He's a fighter. He's a friend. He's a reminder that we all have the power to turn our struggles into stories, our pain into art, our loneliness into connection. Labubu teaches us that it's okay to be different, to feel lost, to make mistakes. What matters is that we keep going, keep dreaming, keep creating. So what does this mean for you? Maybe you're watching this because you love Labubu, or maybe you're just curious about the hype. Maybe you're an artist, a collector, a parent, or just someone looking for a little inspiration. Whatever brought you here, I want you to know that Labubu's story is your story too. We all have moments when we feel small, when we feel like we don't fit in, when we wonder if anyone really sees us. Labubu reminds us that we're not alone, that even the smallest, strangest, most unexpected creatures can make a big difference. As we continue this journey, I want you to think about your own story. What makes you unique? What challenges have you faced? What dreams are you still chasing? Labubu's secret isn't just about where he came from or how he became famous. It's about the power of being yourself, the courage to keep going, and the magic that happens when you share your story with the world. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into Labubu's adventures, the people who brought him to life, and the incredible community that has grown around him. We'll explore the highs and lows, the triumphs and setbacks, and the lessons we can all learn from this unlikely hero. So stay with me, because the untold secret of Labubu is just getting started.
If you're still with me, you're already part of the Labubu story. That's the magic of a character like this. He draws you in not with flashy marketing or loud promises, but with quiet authenticity. Now let's go deeper. Let's step into the world behind the scenes where Labubu was born and meet the people whose passion and creativity turned a simple sketch into a global phenomenon. Labubu's creator, Casing Lung, didn't set out to make a superstar. He was an artist, a dreamer, someone who saw the world a little differently. In interviews, Casing Lung often talks about his childhood, how he felt like an outsider, how he found comfort in drawing, how he used art to make sense of a confusing world. For him, Labubu was never just a product, he was a piece of his own heart, a way to share his feelings with others who might be feeling the same way. That's why Labubu's eyes are so big, so expressive. They're windows into a soul that's seen both joy and pain. When Labubu first appeared in the art toy scene, he was different from everything else. Most designer toys were slick, shiny, and perfect. Labubu was rough around the edges, with wild hair and a mischievous smile. Some people didn't get it. They thought he looked strange, even a little scary. But others saw something special. They saw honesty. They saw vulnerability. They saw a character who wasn't afraid to be himself, even if that meant standing out. That's a powerful message, especially in a world that often tells us to fit in, to follow the rules, to hide our flaws. Labubu became a symbol for everyone who's ever felt like an outsider. He became a friend to anyone who's ever felt misunderstood. And as more people discovered him, the community around Labubu began to grow. Fans started sharing their own stories, stories of struggle, of hope, of finding beauty in the unexpected. They posted photos of Labubu in their homes, on their travels, in moments of joy and sadness. Each photo was a reminder that we're all connected, that we all have a story worth telling. But Labubu's journey wasn't always easy. There were setbacks, disappointments, and moments of doubt. The art toy world is competitive, and not everyone believed in Casing Lung's vision. There were times when it seemed like Labubu might never break through, when the challenges felt too big, when the dream felt out of reach. But Casing Lung and his team didn't give up. They kept creating, kept experimenting, kept believing in the power of their story. And then, something incredible happened. Labubu started to catch on, not just with collectors, but with people from all walks of life. Social media played a huge role. Fans began sharing photos and stories, using hashtags to connect with others who loved Labubu. Suddenly, Labubu was everywhere. On Instagram, on Weibo, on Facebook, in art galleries and pop-up shops around the world. People lined up for hours just to get their hands on a new Labubu release. Limited edition figures sold out in minutes. The demand was overwhelming, but the team stayed true to their roots. They refused to mass-produce Labubu, choosing instead to keep each release special, each figure a work of art. This decision wasn't just about business, it was about respect for the character, for the fans, for the creative process. In a world obsessed with more, Labubu's creators chose quality over quantity, meaning over money. That's another secret to Labubu's success. He's not just a product you buy, he's an experience you share, a story you become part of. Contrast this with the world of mainstream toys, where everything is about scale, speed, and sales. Big companies flood the market with endless variations, chasing trends and profits. But Labubu's team does the opposite. They slow down, they listen, they care. They treat each figure like a piece of art, each release like a celebration. And fans respond to that. They feel valued, respected, seen. But there's more to the story. Labubu's rise isn't just about art or business, it's about community. The people who love Labubu aren't just customers, they're creators too. They make fan art, write stories, organize meetups, and support each other through life's ups and downs. The Labubu community is a place where everyone is welcome, where differences are celebrated, where kindness is the rule, not the exception. This sense of belonging is rare in today's world, where so many people feel isolated, disconnected, alone. Labubu brings people together, not just online, but in real life. Fans travel from different countries to attend conventions, to meet the creators, to share their love for this little character. They form friendships that last a lifetime. They help each other through hard times. They celebrate each other's successes. In a way, Labubu is more than a toy. He's a bridge, connecting people across cultures, languages, and backgrounds. And that's the real magic. Labubu's story isn't just about one character or one creator. It's about all of us. It's about the power of imagination, the importance of community, and the courage to be yourself. It's about finding beauty in the unexpected, hope in the darkness, and joy in the little things. As we move forward, I want you to think about your own community. Who are the people who support you, who inspire you, who make you feel seen? What stories do you share? What dreams do you chase together? Labubu's story reminds us that we're stronger together, that we all have something unique to offer, that our differences are what make us beautiful. In the next section, we'll explore the deeper meaning behind Labubu's design, the symbolism hidden in every detail, and the lessons we can learn from his adventures. We'll look at how Labubu has inspired people to embrace their true selves, to face their fears, and to find courage in the face of adversity. So stay with me, because the untold secret of Labubu is only just beginning to unfold.
Let's take a closer look at Labubu's design, because every detail tells a story. At first glance, you might see just a quirky, wide-eyed creature with a wild mane and a mischievous grin. But if you pause and really look, you'll notice that Labubu is a masterclass in contrast. His eyes are huge, almost too big for his face, filled with curiosity and a hint of sadness. His smile is crooked, not perfect, as if he's always on the edge of laughter or trouble. His fur is untamed, sticking out in every direction, a rebellion against neatness and order. Even his posture is unique, sometimes standing tall and proud, sometimes slouched and thoughtful, sometimes caught mid-adventure. Labubu is never just one thing. He's a bundle of contradictions, and that's exactly why people connect with him. In a world obsessed with perfection, Labubu is a celebration of imperfection. He reminds us that it's okay to be messy, to be different, to have rough edges. His design is a visual metaphor for the human experience. We're all a little bit wild, a little bit lost, a little bit hopeful. Labubu's creators have said that they wanted him to feel alive, to have a soul, to be more than just a toy, and they succeeded. When you hold a Labubu figure in your hand, you can feel the care and intention that went into every curve, every brushstroke, every tiny detail. But there's more to Labubu than just looks. His story is woven into his design. The big eyes, they're not just cute. They're windows to a world of emotion. They invite you to look deeper, to see the vulnerability and wonder inside. The wild hair, it's a symbol of freedom, of breaking away from expectations, of embracing your true self. The mischievous grin, it's a reminder to find joy in the unexpected, to laugh at life's surprises, to never take yourself too seriously. Every part of Labubu tells you it's okay to be you. This message has resonated with fans all over the world, especially those who have ever felt like outsiders. For many, Labubu is more than a collectible. He's a companion, a source of comfort, a reminder that they're not alone. People write letters to Labubu, telling him about their struggles and dreams. They take him on adventures, photograph him in new places, and share those moments with a global community. Labubu becomes a silent friend, always there, always understanding, always cheering you on. Contrast this with the world of social media, where everyone is trying to present the perfect image. Filters, edits, and staged photos create a sense of distance, a feeling that no one is ever really themselves. Labubu cuts through that illusion. He's real, raw, and unfiltered. He invites you to drop the mask, to show your true face, to embrace your quirks and flaws. That's why so many people feel a deep connection to him. He gives them permission to be authentic, to be vulnerable, to be human. But Labubu's influence goes beyond individual fans. He's inspired a movement, a wave of creativity and self-expression that spans continents. Artists create fan art, writers pen stories, musicians compose songs, all inspired by this little creature. There are Labubu-themed exhibitions, pop-up shops, and even charity events. The community is constantly growing, fueled by a shared love for creativity and kindness. People who might never have met otherwise come together to celebrate Labubu, to share their art, to support each other. This sense of belonging is powerful. In a world that can feel cold and isolating, Labubu offers warmth and connection. He reminds us that we're all part of something bigger, that our stories matter, that our voices deserve to be heard. The Labubu community is a safe space, a place where everyone is welcome, where differences are celebrated, where kindness is the rule. It's a living example of how a simple character can bring people together, can spark joy, can change lives. But Labubu's journey hasn't been without challenges. As his popularity has grown, so have the pressures. There are always demands for more figures, more releases, more merchandise. The temptation to go mainstream, to mass produce, to chase profits is always there. But Sing Long and his team have stayed true to their vision. They've resisted the urge to sell out, to compromise on quality, to lose sight of what makes Labubu special. They know that Labubu's magic comes from his authenticity, from the love and care that goes into every piece. This commitment to integrity is rare in today's world, where so many brands are driven by numbers and trends. Labubu's creators have chosen a different path, a path of meaning, of purpose, of heart. They've built something that lasts, not because it's the most popular or the most profitable, but because it's real. And that's a lesson we can all learn from. As we move forward, let's think about what Labubu teaches us. He shows us that it's okay to be different, to stand out, to follow your own path. He reminds us that our imperfections are what make us beautiful, that our struggles are what make us strong. He inspires us to be kind, to be creative, to be ourselves. And he brings us together, creating a community where everyone belongs. In the next section, we'll dive into the global impact of Labubu, exploring how this little character has touched lives in every corner of the world. We'll look at the stories of fans from different countries, the cultural connections that have formed, and the ways in which Labubu has become a symbol of hope and resilience. So stay with me, because the untold secret of Labubu is about to go global.
The Bubu's journey from a small studio sketch to a global icon is nothing short of extraordinary. What started as a personal creation in the hands of Kasing Lung and his team has now become a worldwide phenomenon, reaching people and places they never imagined. But how did this happen? How did a quirky, imperfect character with no big marketing machine behind him become a symbol of hope, comfort, and creativity for so many? The answer lies in the way Labubu's story has crossed borders, languages, and cultures, connecting people everywhere through shared emotion and imagination. Let's travel to Japan, where the art toy scene is vibrant and competitive. Here, Labubu found a home among collectors who value uniqueness and artistry. Japanese fans were drawn to Labubu's expressive face and the story behind his creation. They saw in him a reflection of their own love for characters who are more than just cute. They're meaningful, layered, and a little mysterious. In Tokyo, Labubu figures appear in art galleries, on collector shelves, and even in street photography, where fans pose him in front of cherry blossoms or neon-lit cityscapes. For many, Labubu is a reminder to slow down, to notice the small joys, to find beauty in the everyday. In China, Labubu's popularity exploded thanks to social media platforms like Weibo and Xiaohongshu. Chinese fans embraced Labubu not just as a collectible, but as a companion. They took him on trips, shared photos of him in famous landmarks, and wrote heartfelt posts about how Labubu helped them through tough times. For some, Labubu became a symbol of resilience during periods of stress or uncertainty. His story of overcoming challenges resonated deeply, inspiring fans to keep going, to stay hopeful, to believe in themselves. Online communities formed, where people shared tips on finding rare Labubu figures, organized meetups, and even created their own Labubu-inspired art and merchandise. In Europe, Labubu's appeal is just as strong, though it takes on a slightly different flavor. Here, fans appreciate the artistry and craftsmanship behind each figure. They see Labubu as part of a long tradition of storytelling through toys and art. In cities like Paris, Berlin, and London, Labubu is featured in designer toy shops and art exhibitions. Collectors discuss the symbolism in his design, the emotions he evokes, and the way he challenges traditional ideas of beauty. For many Europeans, Labubu is a conversation starter, a way to connect with others who appreciate creativity, individuality, and the power of imagination. Across the United States, Labubu has found a devoted following among both art toy enthusiasts and casual fans. In New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, Labubu figures are displayed in boutique stores, art fairs, and even coffee shops. American fans are drawn to Labubu's story of perseverance and authenticity. They see him as a symbol of the outsider, the dreamer, the one who dares to be different. Labubu's journey inspires them to embrace their own uniqueness, to pursue their passions, and to build communities based on kindness and creativity. But Labubu's impact isn't limited to big cities or art scenes. In small towns and rural areas, fans connect with Labubu's message of hope and resilience. They share stories of how Labubu helped them through difficult times, illness, loss, loneliness, or simply the challenges of everyday life. For some, Labubu becomes a source of comfort, a silent friend who listens without judgment and encourages without words. What's truly remarkable is how Labubu's story adapts to different cultures while maintaining its core message. In every country, fans find their own meaning in Labubu's journey. Some see him as a symbol of childhood innocence, others as a reminder to stay curious and adventurous. Some connect with his struggles, others with his triumphs. But no matter where you are, Labubu's story is universal, a story of being different, facing challenges, and finding strength in community. This global reach is no accident. It's the result of intentional choices by Labubu's creators, who have always prioritized authenticity over mass appeal. They've worked with local artists, collaborated on special editions, and listened to feedback from fans around the world. They've resisted the urge to water down Labubu's story or make him fit a single mold. Instead, they've allowed him to grow organically, to evolve with his community, to become a reflection of the people who love him. Contrast this with the approach of many global brands, which often try to impose a single identity on every market. Labubu's team does the opposite. They celebrate diversity, encourage creativity, and invite fans to make Labubu their own. This openness has created a sense of ownership among fans, who feel not just like customers, but like co-creators of the Labubu story. The result is a community that's as diverse as it is passionate. Fans from different backgrounds, ages, and walks of life come together to share their love for Labubu. They organize events, create art, support each other, and build friendships that cross borders. In a world that can feel divided and disconnected, Labubu brings people together, reminding us that we're all part of the same story. As we continue, let's explore some of the most inspiring stories from the Labubu community. We'll hear from fans who have overcome adversity, found new purpose, or simply discovered joy through their connection with Labubu. We'll see how this little character has sparked acts of kindness, creativity, and courage in people all over the world. And we'll discover the deeper meaning behind Labubu's journey, a meaning that goes beyond toys or trends.
Let's step into the heart of the Labubu community and listen to the voices of those whose lives have been touched by this little character. These are not stories of celebrities or influencers, but of everyday people, students, parents, artists, dreamers, who found something special in Labubu's world. Their stories revealed the true power of a character who was more than just a collectible. He is a companion, a source of strength, and a spark for creativity. Meet Mei, a university student in Shanghai. She first discovered Labubu during a stressful exam season. Overwhelmed by pressure and loneliness, she stumbled upon a photo of Labubu online. His wild hair and gentle eyes made her smile. She bought a small Labubu figure and placed it on her desk. Whenever she felt anxious, she would look at Labubu and remember that it's okay to be imperfect, to feel lost, to take a break. Mei started sharing photos of Labubu studying with her, and soon other students joined in. They formed a study group, supporting each other through late nights and tough exams. For Mei, Labubu became a symbol of resilience, a reminder that she wasn't alone in her struggles. In Paris, we meet Antoine, an artist who had lost his creative spark. After a difficult breakup and months of self-doubt, Antoine found inspiration in Labubu's story. He was drawn to the character's vulnerability and authenticity. Antoine began sketching Labubu in different settings, sometimes joyful, sometimes melancholy, always true to life. He shared his art online, and to his surprise, people responded with encouragement and gratitude. Other artists joined in, creating a virtual gallery of Labubu-inspired works. Through this creative exchange, Antoine rediscovered his passion and built friendships that spanned continents. Labubu, for him, was a muse, a gentle push to keep creating, to keep feeling, to keep growing. Then there's Priya, a mother in Mumbai, who bought a Labubu figure for her young daughter, Anya. Anya was shy and often felt out of place at school.
She struggled to make friends and sometimes came home in tears. Priya noticed that Anya would talk to her Labubu figure, telling him about her day, her fears, her dreams. Over time, Anya grew more confident. She started bringing Labubu to school, and soon other children became curious. They asked about Labubu, and Anya shared his story. The children began playing together, inventing adventures for Labubu and his friends. For Anya, Labubu was more than a toy. He was a bridge to friendship, a source of courage, a reminder that it's okay to be different. In Los Angeles, we meet Carlos, a young man recovering from illness. During his long hospital stays, Carlos felt isolated and afraid. His sister gave him a Labubu figure, hoping it would cheer him up. Carlos found comfort in Labubu's mischievous grin and wild hair. He started taking photos of Labubu around the hospital, by the window, on the IV stand, next to his lunch tray. He posted these photos online, and soon other patients and caregivers joined in, sharing their own Labubu moments. The hospital staff noticed the change in Carlos. He was more optimistic, more engaged, more hopeful. Labubu became a symbol of strength, a reminder that even in the hardest times, there is room for laughter and connection. These stories are just a few among thousands. In every corner of the world, people have found meaning in Labubu's journey. Some see him as a guardian, others as a friend, still others as a symbol of hope. What unites them is the sense of belonging, the feeling that they are part of something bigger than themselves. The Labubu community is built on kindness, creativity, and empathy. It's a place where people lift each other up, where differences are celebrated, where everyone has a voice. Contrast this with the loneliness and competition that often define modern life. In many communities, people feel pressured to succeed, to fit in, to hide their struggles. Social media can amplify these feelings, creating a sense of isolation and inadequacy. But the Labubu community offers an alternative, a space where vulnerability is welcomed, where mistakes are forgiven, where growth is celebrated. It's a reminder that we don't have to go through life alone, that there is strength in connection, that our stories matter. Labubu's impact goes beyond individuals and communities. He has inspired acts of kindness and generosity around the world. Fans organize charity auctions, donate Labubu figures to children's hospitals, and use their art to raise awareness for important causes. In times of crisis, the community comes together to support those in need, offering comfort, encouragement, and practical help. Labubu is more than a character. He is a catalyst for good, a force for positive change. But perhaps the most powerful lesson from the Labubu community is the importance of authenticity. In a world that often rewards conformity, Labubu stands as a beacon of individuality. He reminds us that it's okay to be different, to have rough edges, to show our true selves. The community reflects this value, encouraging members to share their real stories, to express their true feelings, to embrace their unique journeys. As we approach the final chapters of Labubu's Untold Secret, let's reflect on what we've learned so far. Labubu's story is not just about a toy or a trend. It's about the power of imagination, the strength of community, and the courage to be yourself. It's about finding hope in the darkest times, joy in the smallest moments, and connection in the most unexpected places. In the next section, we'll explore the challenges Labubu and his creators have faced as they navigate the pressures of success, the temptations of commercialization, and the responsibility that comes with inspiring so many. We'll look at how they've stayed true to their vision and what the future might hold for Labubu and his ever-growing family of fans. Stay with me, because the untold secret of Labubu is about to reveal its most important lessons yet.
Success brings its own set of challenges, and Labubu's journey is no exception. As his popularity soared, so did the expectations. Collectors clamored for new releases, resellers tried to profit from limited editions, and the pressure to expand grew louder. For Kasing Lung and his team, this was both a dream come true and a test of their values. Would they give in to the demands of the market, or would they protect the heart and soul of Labubu?
The temptation to commercialize was real. Big companies approached the creators, offering lucrative deals to mass-produce Labubu figures, launch branded merchandise, and even develop animated series. The promise was clear: more exposure, more money, more fame. But with every offer came a risk: the risk of losing what made Labubu special in the first place. The team knew that Labubu was not just a product. He was a story, a feeling, a connection. To turn him into just another mass-market toy would be to betray the very spirit that had drawn fans in from the beginning. So they made a choice. They decided to grow slowly, to keep each release meaningful, to prioritize quality over quantity. They continued to work with small batches, hand-finishing each figure, and collaborating with artists who shared their vision. This approach meant that Labubu figures remained rare and cherished, but it also meant that not everyone who wanted one could get one. Some fans were disappointed, and the secondary market sometimes drove prices up. But the creators believed that scarcity was not about exclusivity. It was about respect. Respect for the art, for the fans, and for the story. This decision was not without its critics. Some accused the team of creating artificial scarcity, of fueling hype, of making Labubu inaccessible to ordinary fans. But those who understood the vision saw something deeper. They saw a commitment to integrity, to authenticity, to the belief that art should not be compromised for profit. Labubu's creators engaged with their community, explaining their choices, listening to feedback, and finding ways to include as many people as possible. They organized lotteries, special events, and online releases to give everyone a fair chance. They encouraged fans to share, to trade, to support each other. Contrast this with the world of mainstream collectibles, where mass production often leads to oversaturation, declining quality, and lost meaning. Labubu's team chose a different path, a path that values the journey over the destination, the process over the product, the story over the sale. This philosophy has kept Labubu's magic alive, even as his fame has grown. But the challenges didn't stop there. With popularity came imitation. Knockoff Labubu figures began to appear, some of them nearly indistinguishable from the originals. For the creators, this was both flattering and frustrating. On one hand, imitation is a sign of success, a recognition that Labubu had become a cultural icon. On the other hand, it threatened the integrity of the brand and the trust of the community. The team responded by educating fans on how to spot authentic figures, by sharing the story behind each release, and by reinforcing the values that set Labubu apart. Another challenge was the pressure to keep innovating. Fans wanted new designs, new stories, new adventures for Labubu. The team embraced this as an opportunity, not a burden. They experimented with different materials, collaborated with other artists, and explored new themes. Each new release was a chance to push boundaries, to surprise and delight the community, to keep the story fresh and exciting. But through it all, they stayed true to Labubu's core, a character who was imperfect, authentic, and full of heart. The responsibility of inspiring so many people was not lost on the creators. They understood that Labubu was more than a toy. He was a symbol of hope, resilience, and kindness. They used their platform to promote positive messages, to support charitable causes, and to encourage fans to be kind to themselves and to others. They knew that every story, every figure, every piece of art had the power to make a difference. As Labubu's world expanded, so did his family. New characters were introduced, each with their own quirks and stories. Fans embraced these additions, weaving them into their own narratives, creating a rich tapestry of imagination and connection. The community grew stronger, more diverse, more creative. Labubu became not just a character, but a universe, a place where everyone could find a home. Looking to the future, the creators remain committed to their vision. They know that the world will keep changing, that trends will come and go, that challenges will arise, but they believe in the power of story, in the importance of staying true to your values, in the magic of bringing people together. They see Labubu not as a finished product, but as a living, evolving journey, one that belongs to everyone who believes in the power of imagination. As we near the end of this story, let's remember the lessons Labubu teaches us. Success is not just about numbers or fame. It's about meaning, about connection, about staying true to yourself. Challenges are not obstacles to be feared, but opportunities to grow, to learn, to become stronger. And community is not just a group of people. It's a family, a source of strength, a wellspring of creativity and kindness. In the final section, we'll bring together all the threads of Labubu's untold secret. We'll reflect on the journey so far, the impact Labubu has had on the world, and the legacy he is building for the future. We'll see how his story is, in many ways, our own, a story of hope, courage, and the endless possibilities that come from believing in yourself and in each other. Stay with me, because the most important part of Labubu's secret is still to come.
As we reach the final chapter of Labubu's Untold Secret, it's time to pause and look back at the journey we've taken together. From a humble sketch in a small studio to a global symbol of hope and creativity, Labubu's story is a testament to the power of imagination, resilience, and community. But more than that, it's a mirror reflecting our own dreams, struggles, and triumphs. Labubu's journey is not just his alone. It belongs to everyone who has ever felt different, who has ever dared to dream, who has ever reached out for connection in a world that sometimes feels too big and too fast. Labubu's secret is not hidden in a marketing strategy or a business plan. It's found in the quiet moments. A child finding courage to make a new friend, an artist rediscovering their passion, a patient finding hope in a hospital room, a collector feeling seen and understood. It's in the laughter shared at a community event, the comfort of a familiar figure on a lonely night, the joy of creating something new and sharing it with the world. Labubu's magic is in the way he brings people together, reminding us that we are never truly alone. What makes Labubu's story so powerful is its honesty. It doesn't shy away from the hard parts, the setbacks, the doubts, the mistakes. Instead, it embraces them, showing us that growth comes from facing our fears, from learning, from trying again. Labubu's creators have shown that you don't have to be perfect to make a difference. You just have to care, to keep going, to stay true to your vision. In a world that often values speed and perfection, Labubu stands as a gentle reminder that it's okay to move at your own pace, to embrace your quirks, to find beauty in the imperfect. The legacy of Labubu is still being written, not just by his creators, but by every fan, every artist, every person who finds meaning in his story. Each new drawing, each shared photo, each act of kindness adds another chapter to the tale. Labubu's world is a living, breathing community, a place where everyone is welcome, where every story matters, where every voice is heard. So, what can we take from Labubu's untold secret? Perhaps it's the courage to be ourselves, to share our stories, to reach out and connect. Perhaps it's the reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can ripple out and change the world. Or maybe it's simply the joy of knowing that no matter where we are or what we're facing, we are part of something bigger, a story that is still unfolding, a community that is still growing, a hope that is still alive. As you close this video, I invite you to carry Labubu's secret with you. Let it inspire you to create, to connect, to care. Let it remind you that your story matters, that your dreams are worth chasing, that your voice can make a difference. And if you ever feel lost or alone, remember Labubu, the little character with wild hair and a big heart, who showed the world that being different is something to celebrate. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If Labubu's story touched you, if it made you smile, if it gave you hope, I invite you to share it with someone else.
Subscribe to this channel, become part of our community, and let's keep the story going, together. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and never stop believing in the magic of your own story.